up, everybody? Thought I'd bring you a little bit of routine maintenance on the old TJ today. Ever since I built this axle, the camber has been off. This tire specifically is 1.5 degrees cambered out. The top of the tire is leaning out further than the bottom of the tire. A zero camber is your tire is perfectly straight up and down. What does that mean? It will eat up the outside part of my tire when I get new tires, so I want to get this fixed before I get new tires put in. Well, how do you adjust that? On a solid axle, this is a hard thing to fix if you're a modern solid axle. One way that we can adjust the camber on this axle is we can use this product made by Specialties Product Company. It's a new bushing that goes into the top where the ball joint seats, but if we take the factory one out and put this one in, well, let me just show you a little bit about it. Let me take you to the bench and show you a little bit about it.
Back in the 70s, Ford did their ball joints with this right here. This would go into the top of the C. The ball joint would seat into here, and then you tighten this down to like 50 foot-pounds before you tighten the nut that was on top of the C. So this goes actually in the C. This is a zero caster, zero camber bushing that comes factory with your ball joints. The problem I'm having is my camber is off a little bit, which means the top of the tire is kicked out more than the bottom of the tire. So I took some measurements. This one right here is a 1 degree, and this is a 1.5 degree. Basically what I'm doing is I'm pulling in 1 degree on my driver's side and 1.5 on my passenger. So what I'm using today is the Special Products Company caster and camber bushing. This goes actually in the C and replaces this guy that comes out of the C. So what we're gonna have whenever we do it is it comes with a washer and the actual bushing. Now if you look at the top, the bushings look almost identical, but when you flip them over, you can see that this one right here is even all the way around, and this one right here is offset. So whenever it goes in and it's setting in there, the ball joint's going to come up through here. In this one, it sits straight up, but with this one, it's going to push it offset a little bit to bring the top of that tire back in towards the vehicle, pulling it in, making everything align right. And the cool thing about it is once you get that in there and that ball joint's offset, you got to get that nut that's on top of it to sit flush. So they give you this tapered washer. When that ball joint's sitting at an angle, you got to have that bolt come out and set flush. So this makes it to where it sits flush on the top of the C and sits flush with the bolt.
So the first thing we got to do, get the Jeep lifted up, get the tire off, and let's get in here and start assessing what all we're going to have to do to make this happen today.
Okay, so first thing we're going to do is remove this guy here. That wasn't very tight at all. Now, I've got to unseat this from in there. I'm going to put this back on upside down to where there's a little bit of room in here and try to get to unseat. Let's see what happens. Now this is where you're going to need a spanner wrench specific to these old Dana 44s. They fit down in there just like that. And that ball joint looks to still be seated in there. There it goes. It unseated itself that time. So as you can see, that loosens all this up in here, right? And as you can see in here, the spanner wrench grabs it just right. All right, I'm kind of support this with my knee to where it's not, there we go. And that'll screw right on out. We don't use NICs, we don't use Loctite. This little spanner tool was 47 bucks back in the day when I bought it. 47 bucks for a simple little tool. So I keep it in the box. Yeah. It's a valid tool. You need it if you're gonna have these old axles. But this right here, the way they designed this, look at that. See that ball joint just wiggles around in there? It's a great design, in my opinion. I think so. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna take this, we're gonna set the washer for it right here, set the new one right there, We're gonna set the old one in the box here. We're gonna open up and look at the instructions for a brief second. You gotta get them dirty with your gloves. That way, if anybody ever says that you use the instructions, yep. Okay, so what we're looking for is positive or negative camber. So this is looking at the top view of the front of the vehicle like this. We wanna pull in negative, right? Let me make sure what I'm doing here. So we want the skinny side out. All right, well, let's give this a try, see what happens. Okay, gotta rock it a little bit to get it going in there. But once it gets started, I'm gonna use this handheld tool and get this flush with the top. One thing I'm noticing is that when it's going in, making this thing dance around a little bit, but like right there, it's a little bit tight, but I think it's because it's rubbing on the inside of this guy. Don't have much further to go. Okay, so I need to go another 1/8 of a turn, but I don't want to booger it up. I really don't know what to do. So, seeing how I'm not a professional, I'm just gonna put this here. It's just an off-road rig. This is not rocket science. Oh, maybe that's what I should do, is seat it. All right, I don't know if I'm doing this right at all. No. Alright, so my battery died on my GoPro during the installation of that last bolt, but you didn't miss anything. It was just putting the bolt down, tightening it down, and putting a cotter pin through it. You kind of want to work your steering wheel back and forth to make sure that ball joint seats, but that's not a big deal. Main thing is, whenever I put this angle finder back on it, look at this. We got so close to 0 degrees. I think we did good. We went from 1.5 degree out and we brought it in almost to 0. So that's gonna help with the wearing on the outside of my tire, put the load more across this, but mainly whenever I'm turning this way, the tire's not gonna feel like it's rolling over on itself. So this should give us a little bit more stability at speed on the highway and make our tires run better. That pretty much wraps up today's project on this Jeep. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. It's going for a 1 degree, so it should be a little bit easier, but it's the same practice, same everything. I don't wanna bore you with that. I just wanted to bring you a quick video. If you have a solid axle and it's out of an F-150 of the 70s, like 76, 78 through 79, that era, a lot of people putting them in TJs. This is a 1977.5 F-250 housing with 1978 F-150 knuckles to keep it on a 5 lug. I just want to get that done before I buy tires next month. We got the toe, we got the camber, and we got the caster all set right where it needs to be, where I should have done it from day one, but I didn't know about this Specialties product here. It's actually a pretty cool little thing that you can adjust your camber or caster on a solid axle. It was nice to find them and know that there was something out there. Will it work long term? We're gonna find out, but for now, this right here is gonna get us through. So, speaking of getting us through, appreciate you getting through another video with me, and thanks for digging it. Thanks for getting involved. Yeah, let's see what we can do this summer. We got Moab coming up. We've got a lot of scenic, chunky, gnarly trails here in Colorado we're gonna be doing this summer. As for the caster, camber, toe, it's all set just right now. So I think we're starting to get ready for the new tires next month and for the trails the month after that. So anyway, thanks for sticking around. If you like what you saw, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit that little notification bell. That way you know when our next video is posted. We're gonna try to do at least one every 2 weeks, if not one every week. Working on things, a lot of editing stuff, or other projects I'm working on. Finding time for myself is becoming a little bit more hard to do my own videos, but that's not really a problem. I enjoy doing them. So anyway, with that, thanks for watching. See you out there on the trail. You guys have a good one.